I really want to do a quick tutorial on how to balance a gimbal because I find that a lot of people I work with, even my coworker who loves his gimbal, who has the RS3 actually, struggles balancing it, and it's really not as hard as it may seem. It's definitely confusing the first time you open it and maybe the instructions aren't clear, but hopefully I can make it really plain and simple for you in this video. So without further ado, let's just get started. I am using the Moza Aircross 2. However, this works for any gimbal that you might use. I've done this on the RS3 and RS2 respectively. So let's get started. All right, so first thing is you're gonna wanna be on a flat surface. That's why I'm on a table here. And then you're gonna wanna place it into its standard position. So you're gonna have to unlock and then relock these axes. And there we are. So we have it set into a default position. The pan axis is forward, the roll is to the right, and the tilt is on its right-hand side, at least for this model of gimbal. Next up, we have to attach the base plate to the camera. I'm using the 5D Mark IV. Just place it anywhere, you want to typically have space so you can use all the buttons and features. So right here is good for me. Try to make sure it's actually straight on the plate. So I like to look at the text at the bottom to help me align that, and then make sure it's tight as possible. With your base plate on now, you're going to simply slide it into position, however that is for your model. For the Moza, it's very simple. Whoops. You just lock it into place. Now it's attached here, and all I have to do here is actually tighten this knob and it'll stay secure without sliding up and down. Now, when you're balancing gimbals, there's 3 axes you're gonna worry about: tilt, roll, and pan. And that basically corresponds to each arm here. So first we're gonna start with the tilt axis, which it is for most gimbals. And in this case, I actually have to lock this arm into place, and we're gonna adjust this vertical point. So you're basically wanting to adjust this axis such that when you point the camera straight up, it stays pointing straight up. So in this case, you'll see I go here, it's not quite pointing straight up. So I'm gonna slide it along the axis. Now it's pointing a little bit towards this way. And you're just gonna have to keep finicking very subtly on both directions on the opposite side of which it's tilting until you've reached equilibrium, just like so. And now it's balanced looking up. Now you can lock that portion. Next up, we have a little bit more of the tilt, the final part of the tilt. Now you want to set the balance such that when the camera's facing forward, it doesn't fall forward or fall back. So for example, I'm gonna try to set up a position here that I think is the center of gravity. Obviously that was wrong, so we're gonna slide the other way. Still too front heavy, a little bit there. Oh, there you go. It's not really moving here. That actually just might be it. So now you can lock this arm, and we're done with the tilt axis. So now we can move on to the roll axis. So for the roll axis, you're gonna want to hold the arm just so that the camera doesn't roll when you unlock it. You're gonna unlock it here. And now you see if I let go, it rolls. So now we can just simply, while holding the arm, you're gonna want to adjust until it also honestly doesn't roll anymore. So here it's rolling this way, so we're gonna have to move the opposite direction to give some counterweight to it, still rolling that way. And this is honestly a game of patience and just micro adjustments, so I like to move as smoothly as possible every single time I make an adjustment. But this does take some time, so just be patient with it. And there you go. Now the roll axis stopped moving, and it doesn't move without my assistance, so I can now move on to the pan axis, and that unlocks here at the bottom. Pan is perhaps the most difficult of all these to set up. And the test for this one is actually, you want to have this ball towards the center of gravity. So in this case, if you look directly in line with the camera, you want this ball plate to be somewhere under the camera. So I like to do that first, and it looks like it would be somewhere there. Looks just about right. And that's a good starting point. And then I just simply lock it. And then what you're gonna wanna do is actually tilt the gimbal forward and see if it rotates. See how it rotated real quick? That means the pan is definitely off. So now we just gotta keep adjusting that until the pan stops completely rolling out of control. And as you can see, that small adjustment stopped the pan from rolling. And that means we're all set with the gimbal, and we can actually just launch it. So turn it on. And in most gimbals, there should be like a check balance button. I'm gonna go in the menu here and do that right now. We're gonna check the balance and see how well we did. So I'm gonna go through some motions here. And I have the menu here that says well balanced on all 3 fronts. And there you have it. So just remember a few things. Tilt axis first, roll axis second, and then pan axis last. Make sure you have all your attachments on the camera already so that you don't have to constantly rebalance when you're switching attachments. Last but not least, don't be afraid to do the balance check on your gimbal. It will tell you which direction each axis is off by, if it's off at all. But if it says everything's good, you're good and you're not going to be straining the motors in your gimbal. Thank you so much for watching if you made it all the way to this point. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please hit the like button. It helps me out a lot. And of course, subscribe for more filmmaking content just like this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. And of course, thank you for watching. See you later.